come along as well. So these were the three presentations that we had for you today. I'll ask our panelists to say a few words and the three key issues that they see for the future. And I'll ask our first panelist, John Kent, to see the three major things that he's seeing that they influence the future of tourism. John, would you like to say a few words?
Yeah.
There's a microphone just next to you, please use it.
Hello everybody. Hi. So what I can see is, number one is product differentiation. I believe everybody, at least on the leisure industry, on the leisure side, they are moving to differentiate their product. And I give you an example. So we have resort hotels around the world. And I believe what the tour operators and the people, so the end consumer is looking right now is a differentiated product. For example, a hotel for adults only, or a hotel with water parks, a super family hotel, or a hotel which gets involved with a lot of activities and experiences. Like, for example, in one of our hotels, we had this year cooking lessons to learn how to cook Japanese, yeah, and various other activities. So I believe that, and I can see that from the tour operators as well, that they are looking for hotels which they differentiate themselves, and it's not only sun and the beach. So that's what I believe is happening, and so every year is going to have a growth on that. The second is another trend I can see is that, which in UK is quite mature, dynamic packaging has a huge growth. I think the numbers in UK, which I'm not, so I don't think we have exact percentages, but I believe it's about 35% of the market. I'm talking again about leisure destinations, yeah. So if we think about 10 years ago, early 2000, we had 100% of the leisure holidays booked via the traditional tour operators we know, TUI, Thomas Cook, First Choice, Air Tours at the time, etc. Today, I think they lost. These companies about 35% market share to the dynamic packaging, which every travel agent or every online tour operator they can create, and most of the times they can be cheaper than a tour operator as well. And the reason is mainly the aviation, because the tour operator has a fixed, if you want, price on the aviation, and most of them they own the airline, compared to a travel agent or a online tour operator, which they have the facility to shop, if you want, from around the web, from various low-cost carriers, charter airlines and scheduled flights. And that's why I believe the packages they've been created by the dynamic model, they are much cheaper in the same hotel sometimes, than to buy the same hotel from a major tour operator. Unfortunately, this model is very mature in UK. That's why I mentioned an approximately 35% of the market, and is not in Europe. Is not in the rest of Europe. For example, in Germany, it's under 10%, maybe under 5%. I'm not sure, which is a very big market like UK. In Scandinavia, which the internet penetration is very high, it's about 90%. The dynamic packaging less than 5%. In France is less than 10%. So I believe I can see a huge growth in dynamic packaging, still in UK. In UK it's approximately 5% year on year now. But the big potential is outside UK in this model. And I believe even the traditional tour operators, they know that. And that's why the last 5 years they made acquisitions of online players in order to, if you want, to become to this sector faster than they could do it organically. And the last one, if you want 3, Dimitri, I forgot my third one, I'll give you in a minute. Sorry, my BlackBerry is not working.
It's not only me who is suffering from BlackBerries.
No, I'm very anti-iPhone. And the third one is new markets. I believe, and I've seen in the presentation before, the 80% which they are within region right now. I believe this is going to expand, and the three main regions which I believe is China, ex-Soviet Union, if we call it this way, and India. So for the moment we can see a trend from China to Europe, for example, but it's mainly in city destinations, and which is very logical because they haven't seen what is London, what is Paris, what is Brussels, etc. I believe this is going to move to leisure. When the airline, the aviation cost is going to go lower, as we've seen before as well. And that's another trend I can see this 80%, in my opinion, is going to be lower, so we're going to have a higher percentage in outside region, so leisure holidays.
Thank you, John. That's great. On the new market, John, as the father of dynamic packaging here, would you like? The question is really about how the legislation going to affect dynamic packaging and the European directive for tour operating in packaging, whether it will affect people buying individually.
To be honest with you, Dermot was very right. So the last 18 months we've seen in UK, it's a case on High Court right now. And a year ago, CAA, the Civil Aviation Authority, which they give the license to the tour operators, so they claim for a bed bank that they haven't paid VAT and they weren't acting as principal. So that means they had the full liability like every tour operator has. They got them to court, they won. So the bed bank appealed, and a few months ago the bed bank won. And now it's an appeal from the CAA back to the bed bank. So it's absolutely right. We don't know what's going to happen. On the other hand, the best example I can give is every consumer, they have to look after who they book with, if they are bonded or not, how reputable they are. For example, if you go to US, which is a huge market, but mainly domestic market, so they don't exist civil aviation authority license and things like that, and in many European countries. So you go to, for example, to Delta Airlines, you book your flight, you go to a bed bank or Expedia or whatever, you book your hotel or your flight and your hotel, and that's it. So this is a very UK, I think, matter. Which CAA used to make a lot of money through bonds from the tour operators, millions every year. On the other hand, they covered many failures during the years, and so nobody can blame them. That is the most strict, I believe, country in the world on the license matter.
Thank you. We have another question here. Would you like to say who you are? Where you work, what perfume you wear. You've got a question as well? You pay extra for that, you realize, yeah? That's fine.
Hello, my name is James Davis-Mann. Study in Travel and Tourism Management at Norwich and also starting up a company. I'm in my third year and doing a dissertation on the future of transportation. So the Dreamliner is, of course, something I'm looking at a lot. Another thing I was looking at is Virgin Galactic and how they're thinking of doing orbital flights that will enable transportation within hours, literally 3 hours from Britain to Australia. How long do you think that is going to take? And no, I'm not going to answer on the perfume.
Can I see how many people would like to ask questions, so I'll see how restrictive chair I'll be. Yeah, we've got one there. Okay, the others are thinking. John, you can have a question.
Yeah, I have a question.
And you can have a present as well. And give this guy a master's brochure, yeah? Because he's finished. Yeah, go on.
I have a question for Adele. Hello, Adele.
Hello.
I have a question for you.
Okay.
So you mentioned earlier that the 44% of the workforce of the travel industry in UK are under 30.
Mm-hmm.
Do you have any analysis on...
John, you need to speak to the mic because we're recording, yeah?
Hello.
Don't destroy it,
You can hear me now, yeah?
Thank you.
So do you have any analysis why is that? So why the 44% of the workforce is under 30?
Interestingly, not a huge amount. There are some assumptions made, and a lot of it is to do with relative to the transient workforce. It attracts people who perhaps don't know what they want to do, and therefore at the early stages of their career and join the industry perhaps a little bit undecided, or maybe they're seeing working in the industry as a stepping point for somewhere else. So actually we know not a great deal about it, but the assumption is it's to do with that transitory nature and people choosing it and not really having any great assumption that they will stay in the industry. People first, I think, are looking at it. So there are people that are attempting to analyse that. But yes, that's as far as we've got.
Actually, I agree with you, because so I believe, and I don't have any numbers, but I say that from experience. 18 consecutive years in UK in the travel industry, from very small travel agents to very big companies.
Absolutely.
And I could see that the most of the workforce which are under 30, it's exactly what you said now, and the most of them, they move to another industry.
Yes.
And I believe the reason they moved to another industry, in my opinion, is because they didn't have enough training. The most of them, they didn't have any, if you want, so the background wasn't a university on tourism, or a degree on tourism, or so even a college or something. So they came to the travel industry by luck. So they had a little training from the tour operator or the travel agent they work with, and the most of them, they get out from the travel industry, maybe even so before they reach 30. And very few of them, they are staying. Actually, maybe not very few, I don't know. I'm guessing a number of 20–30%. And you can see, and if you go on the other side to the management positions, to the top executives in the industry, especially in UK again, because in Germany it's slightly different in my opinion. So you can see examples which, so they became, number one in a top tour operator, CEO of a tour operator, and they haven't even been to a university. Not on a tourism degree, on any degree. Which is not, don't take me wrong, so this is, so well done to them, and well done to what they achieved. And I know, for example, a specific case which started as a rep in a resort area, and well done to this person, became a CEO of a tour operator, one of the biggest in Europe. But I believe our industry needs more training and more education. We don't have, and that's why it's low paid as well compared to other industries.
Yeah, absolutely, and certainly we do lose people, and a lot of our graduates will maybe enter the industry and perhaps do 2 or 3 years, find they're not moving quick enough and leave. Evidence suggests that if people break through that, they possibly do very well. So there's some very good success stories, but we do lose a lot of people in those early stages. So yeah, I would support everything you said.
And I agree. So Dimitris told me yesterday when I was in BU, so that you are having 50 PhD students now in. Yeah,
we've got 50 PhD.
Which is an amazing number. I couldn't believe the number.
And the other thing that's very encouraging is that a lot of companies are coming to us now to ask for personalized training for their companies. So we just deliver a training course for Pestana hotels in Portugal. 4 of my colleagues flew out to Porto, and we had 160 people, including their chairman, and we did a fantastic job for a couple of days with them. So a lot of companies are now start understanding that competitive advantage is based on intellect, and intellect is based on education, training, and being able to understand the big issues. Can we have the microphone on this side? No, you cannot, because the camera...
Hi, my name is Carole Favre, and I lecture in travel and tourism.
Where?
And I lecture at HE, and I lecture at FE level. And I have the feeling that I'm doing a job that actually means absolutely nothing, since employers in the travel and tourism industry employ students or children, teenagers, with 4 Cs at GCSEs. So you are, because of your decision to employ at such a low level of qualification, really setting standards for not employing the best people, and you're actually not making most of the use of education. You say universities have got a responsibility. Where is your responsibility to grow people within your organization, but also to actually respect and cherish the education that is given to these students for them to go and work in the industry, if actually you're not really interested in that, because what you want is cheap labor?
Dermot?
What they call variable pay. So even though you get a low basic, if someone's really enthusiastic and they're in a great shop and they sell a lot of a foreign exchange, they can develop their earnings. So we try and involve and engage, because in some cases you don't need a great education. But that's it. I'll shut up now.
John, would you like to?
Yeah, I'll give.
Microphone, John. Microphone. Microphone. Yeah.
I don't like microphones, actually. I'll give you another dimension as well. I was hired by Richard Branson in 1999 to set up Virgin.com in UK. And at the time I had to hire about 1,000 people. Yeah? So for call centers, etc. And I was involved in this process myself. Out of the, I don't know, we got 5,000 applications. So Virgin at the time was a blue chip company. I think was voted the best to work with in UK, so to work for in UK. At the time, I don't know today. And just out of interest, I looked to many CVs and we made an analysis. We received about 5,000 CVs, something like that. I don't remember. So for 1,000 positions, yeah? Only the 5% of them, they had a degree in tourism. The 95% they didn't. So it's not only the employer to get, so the educate, if you want, of the ones. So first of all, I don't think there are many people in the travel industry with a degree. And secondly, it's okay, where to find them. So we were looking for good people, and we got good people, but you know, without what you mentioned, it's what demand is in the industry.
Gerard, you'd like to say something?
Just, I could probably just give a slightly different perspective on it. The first 7 years of my travel and tourism life were